Don in London. Hello. November 3rd, my video is all about recovery from addiction. So the title, Addiction and Recovery, one day at a time. And what's happening today? Well, good start. I feel better than I have done in a few days. And that's all because I'm in conscious contact with my fellowship and a higher power and all that sort of stuff. Not to be sneezed at if you're in recovery one day at a time from alcoholism or some drug or some behaviour. So seriously though, it is all about staying sober one day at a time so life can work. And here I share a little bit about how fellowship helps me. That's the Fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. Don't speak for it, never can, never will, never want to. It's full of unique, authentic people who can speak for themselves where they will. And that's just the way it ought to be. Not should be, could be. It's just the way it is, actually. So we are unique, authentic people, whether we're in fellowship or anywhere else on the planet, if we choose. And the best freedom I have is sobriety, so I can choose. And what is life all about? Well, for me it's to be able to love people, be loved back, and useful in some way. So we all have our usefulness to ourselves and other people. And it doesn't mean we're slaves to anything, it just means we are able to be ourselves, our spiritual selves in the moment of now, the present moment. That is spiritual, the ability to cope with what's going on. So the Fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, has helped me tremendously. So I'm just going to share the AA preamble, which is heard at the beginning of every meeting, then a reading, and then the Serenity Prayer, and my understanding as it goes. So it's just one understanding. AA is what you see is what you get. So if you go to meetings you see reality, the upside of sobriety and the downside, just like normal people. This is the preamble, and it's so important to me. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. And that means we share the good and the bad. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. So if you haven't got the money, you don't pay anything. If you have got a bit of money, it might help pay for the coffee or the tea in the room. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. But people inside are. But we only actually talk about one thing, how to be sober today. But we do talk about life and reality. Does not wish to engage in any controversy. So in other words, we keep focused on sober and we don't affiliate to anything else. Neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So that's what it is. No outside interests. Although we all have outside interests, we remain unique and authentic. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there. But there are some suggestions, and that's the 12 steps of action in the action program. Action always, not sitting there thinking about it, but we have to do something. We have to behave differently. And attitudes change as we learn how to be sober. Because it's not an overnight job. Anyway, in this book, Daily Reflections, which I share here, for November the 3rd, focusing and listening. And listening, we all listen, but to what degree and to what level of skill do we listen? Do we listen for what we want to hear, or do we hear everything? There is a direct linkage among self-examination, meditation and prayer. Taken separately, these practices can bring much relief and benefit. So it's a self-examination. So this month, November, all about Step 11, prayer and meditation. And last month was about doing a daily inventory. So self-examination, Step 10, meditation and prayer, contemplating what's going on. If I do my self-examination first, then surely I'll have enough humility to pray and meditate. And humility means just the ability to keep on learning. Because I'll see and feel my need for them. Some wish to begin and end with prayer, leaving the self-examination and meditation to take place in between, whereas others start with meditation, listening for advice from God about their still hidden or unacknowledged defects. So in other words, listening, and if God works through people, people will tell me the truth if I'm willing to listen. Still others engage in written and verbal work on their defects. ending with a prayer of praise and thanksgiving. These three, self-examination, meditation and prayer, form a circle without a beginning or an end. No matter where or how I start, I eventually arrive at my destination, a better life, or a better life in the moment of now, because we're not trying to plan forwards or backward or go backwards. We have history to tell us something about where we are today, and if we fantasize about the future, we're not living in the present moment. So self-examination, prayer, meditation involve a discipline, listening, reflection, and wondering what next. So that comes in terms of prayer, asking for advice, and it can be to good conscience, to God, or to your neighbours, or to people in fellowship. It's where we get our wisdom from to help us make this day work, or live this day as best we can. So what helps me in any case, anywhere, at any time, is that serenity prayer, that can do, cannot do. And what's the wisdom? So to God, good conscience, or listening to your neighbours, or people in fellowship, or the television, it can be like this: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference is just for today.